In the last episode, you would have seen us sail our maiden voyage and finally get the keys to our 50-foot Leopard catamaran, install a solar arch, a rub rail, and help a budding sailor overcome her fears. In this episode, we attack the aftermarket work for off-the-grid sailing. We get our signage sorted, we get an internet dome, install drop-down clears, a barbecue, and a filleting board.
So colours from Bodat.
Signs and designs. Okay, these were the two that you picked.
Yeah.
Spacing done, kerned appropriately, I think.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's
Do
right.
you have a preference?
I think the top one is easier to read. I like the bottom one because of the line and it looks dashy, but
And the trouble with the bottom one is the R kind of gets confusing. Like people might not actually know what the R is.
Oh, that was easy. Okay. I love visual aids.
I actually like the thinner one with Mackay.
Yeah.
Right, I did
Yeah.
pick. I did
Yes.
pick thin.
So, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll go with the thinner one.
Okay.
It's not his first rodeo. Lady is putting on our Barefoot Doctors logo as we speak. Right there. Awesome.
He's excited.
Last one. Going in.
It's a 2-axis antenna, and then you have the V7 HTS, which is a 3-axis antenna, and also it's like 2-in-1. So basically, it has an unlimited channel, and it has a high-speed channel as well at the same time.
So that's what it looks like.
Yes, covered pretty much. That's what it looks like. As I said, this is a 3-axis antenna, so it will look up.
Right.
Like this. That's the difference between the 7 and the 3 basically. Now the new version is the HTS, which stands for High Throughput Satellite.
So I mean, really, for what we're doing, we really need one of those because the V3 is not going to do it.
The V3, I mean, besides the speed, the V3, the V7 will give you extended coverage in the Pacific.
It's just quite big, isn't it? Like I'm not used to having such.
I know, yeah.
You want big coverage, you gotta have.
Exactly. I mean, the coverage and also the flexibility in the plan, especially given that the 7 has that extra unlimited channel. It gives you that, extra advantage of using the unlimited channel for things like emails, things that don't really require higher bandwidth. So it's all you can use basically.
Right.
And then you have the high-speed channel on the other hand to use for things that really require higher bandwidth. Maybe monitor the YouTube channel. Things like that.
Very important stuff, obviously.
Of course. Roughly. So you have the Wi-Fi and the cellular, because when you're in a marina, you want to use marina Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You want to use that, and then with the system, it will be programmed automatically to switch whenever it loses the Wi-Fi or it's the weak signal, it will automatically switch you to cellular. So
Right.
you'll be using cellular data. And then when you get out of the cellular coverage, it will automatically switch you to satellite.
I mean, satellite's the most expensive, so we've got to use the other ones first.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So basically, the network will be available when you come on board.
Yeah.
But let's say the bug is called X. So you came in on board X. So it will show you in the Wi-Fi X, and then the source of the internet can be either Wi-Fi or cellular or satellite. So when you walk in, you use your phone to connect to that network that was created on board the boat.
Okay. And the price of the V7 unit?
The retail for it is $27,995.
Okay.
The Wi-Fi and cellular
Booster.
modems.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's about 3,000.
roughly. Yeah.
Okay. And the Iridium?
The Iridium Go, the package basically around $1,500.
Right, okay.
My concern is just adding more weight on the back,
Yeah.
because we've just added solar panels on the back, which have got a weight, plus we've got a dive platform, so the weight
Okay.
seems to be kind of
All
a bit back heavy.
pushed.
Yeah.
Pushed to the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a $30,000 investment. How long is it going to work for? And is it going to continue being relevant?
By just doing an upgrade, you'll get the latest technology. It doesn't mean that the previous one doesn't work. It will still
Okay.
work.
We just need to contact some people to see
Oh.
how they found it and what is going to work for us.
So while we're sitting back to our lunch, our domes arrived. Look at that.
Just for some size comparison,
And it's full of air.
this is the dome.
Pretty heavy.
Yes, 25 pounds. And it's got a balance on that little bracket.
With 4 bolts.
Suppose it's not their first rodeo either. Please explain.
Later.
Okay, today we have a hype of activity out there on our cockpit area. We have the canvas guys putting up the canvas, and we also have the welders there as well. So it's been raining for a few days, so they're all out and about and trying to get things done, which is great for us. And here's my favourite human.
So they come with their MIG welders to weld the stainless for the bracket for the internet dome. So that's what they're doing. And the canvas guys are doing the drop downs. I'm doing internet and bills and paying all the money.
And I'm
La la la.
doing important stuff also.
So here we are. Where are we?
We're at Creative Canvases, and these guys are going to do the drop downs for our back cockpit and also around the steering station upstairs, and make it as waterproof as possible. And we want 100% shade, so normally they have like a shade cloth, but we want 100% block out shade, and these guys are going, oh, normally you have these ones, and we said nope, we want complete block out.
And why do we want complete blockout?
Because we want to protect our beautiful skin from the sun.
Why do we want to protect our beautiful skin from the sun?
Because someone's a skin doctor, and
It'd be really, really embarrassing.
it'd be really embarrassing if we got sunburnt. So so we want no sun in the cockpit area and block out as much of the heat as possible. So these guys are the ones to do it, apparently.
So let's
Yeah.
go in and see them.
Okay.
And so what about for cleaning? Like from week to week, what do we do for cleaning?
So at the beginning they recommend just water and mild soap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there are products out
Like as
there
in
like
not detergent.
Not harsh. We would just use very soft, detergent. Maybe, I don't know, Dove, something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Don't, when you're out in the sea and you have the salt,
water,
don't rub it against. Just rinse it out with water, let all that salt, go down, and then you could go ahead and soak.
Because the salt will cause abrasion.
Well, yeah, the particles
could scratch the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are products out there, Imar or Plexus, that you could use, and it polishes also, and it'll extend the life of the vinyl.
Okay, I must say I didn't think that when you did this measuring, I thought you just kind of, I shouldn't say roughly, but loosely put them in, but this is kind of very exact, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's precise to your boat. Every boat is unique.
Yeah, I know.
Even though they're the same model.
So Creative Canvas are creating canvas covers for the helm station and the cockpit downstairs. So they put templates which they then take back to the factory to sew, and it's pretty spectacular even at that. It actually makes you realise how big that helm station actually is. You put an extra bar to hold the material nicely out there. Thanks for your help.
Okay, so the guys are putting up the clears. These are the guys from Creative Canvas, and they're putting up these clears on our steering station, and they look really beautiful. So this will protect us from the weather. This will be able to see out, and also they've put in little windows. So we've got the zipper windows there, so we can lift those with some airflow as well. But as you can see, everything's tying in together. I'm putting the clears on the outside. So it's pretty exciting because this is going to stop all that rain from just pelting in. You might still get a little bit of weather coming in, but it's certainly not going to be horrendous rain like we've had. Very cool.
It's going to be so good.
I know, look at that. But it's going to really protect us. That shade there is going to be really cool. And drop downs from the weather.
A lot more privacy as well.
Yeah. Because people have been watching us dancing at night time. And you can see the sign, Ultra Dash, and new sign that was put on today.
So yesterday we went and bought a Magma gas grill, which is really a barbecue, so I'm not quite sure why they call it a grill. But it took us about 4 trips to West Marine to sort it all out, because first of all it was difficult to get help, and then difficult to find somebody who knew what they were talking about, and then all the connections are really quite confusing. The grill comes with attachments for a portable gas bottle, which is what we don't want because we want to use our propane out of our tanks. So as a result of that, you've got to buy a tube with a regulator and a Y connection. You also have to buy a control valve, and that basically allows you to make it hot or cold. We also had to buy a leg to mount it onto the railing. So getting all these things, the right ones to fit, was really very confusing. So I'm trusting it should be fairly simple, but as Elizabeth says, things always take longer than you think. Owner's manual, great.
Good start.
I think I should read it.
Yeah. All our scales.
So that's obviously the base. This is obviously the top. Instructions say attach upside down. They want you to attach it. And the screws, bolts, screws. I'll give you a couple of Allen keys. That's nice. the nut locks into the metal flange on the hinge.
I would have thought buying a barbecue would have been so challenging, huh?
I know.
How many trips was it? About 4?
4. We told them.
Did you tell? Or them? Are you recording?
I am.
Hi, them! Well, John's gone off to pick up a guy who's going to do a little bit of fixing of something else that we need doing before we go. But my sense of humour is a bit wicked, and you know, I'm really tempted to hide a few pieces so that it doesn't quite fit. Like some, you know, hide a few bolts or some screws or something like that, just to kind of make his life a bit more interesting. But when I thought about it, this barbecue's been such a hassle because we've gone back to the store 4 times and we've scratched our head and we've thought, oh, you know, I hope it's the right decision and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure if I can do it to him, but it would be a really funny thing to do. Anyway, I'll see what happens whether I hide something or not. You'll just have to find out. Do it to him.
All of our tapes we put on a bit of rope so that they all go together and they don't sort of fall all over the bottom of the tool bag. Just makes it much easier to get things, and it reduces the amount of mess and clutter. This is plumber's tape for gas fittings. We'll see, won't we? This is the low pressure control valve, which actually just allows us to turn the gas power on and off, high, medium, low, etc. So here we have the gas cylinder off, going to a regulator with a pressure gauge. That's the regulator, and this is the solenoid that automatically turns the gas off if there's a leak. Gosh, it's quite hot. We need to fit our T-thing to here. Okay, so we have a fitting that doesn't match up. That doesn't attach to here, even with the piece that they've given us, because it's too thin. So I'm going to take a photo to show the people in the shops, because they never know what you're talking about. Or no, that's not right. They know what they're talking about. I just don't know how to explain things properly. You know, a single brass fitting meant I had to go back into town, try and find the appropriate size, which was an upgrading of a thread from one size to another. By the time we got back, it was late at night, so I didn't do any filming, but I'll just show you what we did. We have the pressure sensor, the regulator, and the safety cutoff device. Gas tube going to the house is there, and obviously what I had to install was this gas fitting, the T junction here, to go to the barbecue out on that side. And the fitting that I was missing was this one, because this is a bigger thread and that's a little thread. To get that on and get these on, I had to take this whole thing off here to get access to be able to screw it all together. So when you've just done a gas fitting, you really need to make sure there's no leaks. And the way to do that is to use a paintbrush with the soapy water. If there was any leak, you'd see lots of bubbles coming out through the detergent, and it would just bubble like crazy. You can rotate it a little bit down here when you want. Should we have it more like this angle?
Yeah, I think that angle's going to be better for you.
This angle. gas tanks. It's clear of the dinghy. So here is the fitting that goes into the device there. The grill or the barbecue itself is bolted on with this onto the guardrail. It's got this doesn't come with, you got to pay extra for this bit. It clamps on there. That had to be pulled really tight in order to make sure there was no movement there at all, but it's all now nicely positioned. But this is a really weird fitting. It's got a little slot, you put it in upside down like that, you twist it round. It's loose as all hell. I mean, I was thinking that is not very safe. We spend so much time making all these joints so tight and gas proof, and once you've turned the gas on, it's solid as a rock. So again, soapy water, and there's no leaks, otherwise it'd bubble up. Push in, turn on. Success! That is, you can't see it of course, but that is really hot. And the great thing about these barbecues is they heat up really quickly and they're very well protected from the wind. So these are very common design used on boats all around the world. So, but that's all good. That's working really well. It's really hot, and you could barbecue there, hit by a blast of heat, right away, instantly. So we then turn it off. We need to turn off the supply at the gas there. Because I've turned the gas off, the pressure's off, we can then remove it. Now I'll put this away until we're actually using it for real.
And all we need now is some juicy fresh fish and lobster to be caught.
Hogfish, lobster, can't wait.
What's going on here?
I'm putting together the filleting board for when we catch the fish. So I bought one that we can fit into the rod holder.
Okay, so where do you intend to put that?
Follow me.
I don't think it's going to be big enough for all those massive fish that you're going to be catching.
So it just goes into the rod holder, so it means we don't have to have another attachment on the boat. And then we can adjust this actually if we need to move it down to a lower step. But
Looks fantastic.
it is true that when we get the fish this big, we're going to be having to do some of the other work, like the really big fish are going to have to be down there. But this will be great for, you know, fish that size, lobster, hogfish, sweet lip, etc., etc.
Woohoo! Can't wait. And then when you take it off, it becomes a what again?
Fishing rod holder. So we put the fishing rods in there when we're trolling behind the boat.
Excellent. Can't wait. So thanks for being a part of our journey. If you have liked this episode, hit the like button, subscribe for free, and ding the dong so you don't miss your fix of the next exciting episode. Love and health from the Barefoot Doctors.